Hey everyone, and welcome to the anti-hype book tag. So I was kindly tagged by Abby of Pellinor, who I'll leave a link to down below, along with the original video, to do the anti-hype book tag, which is all about hyping up books that are just not hyped on BookTube or in the book community in general. So let's get into it. Question number 1 is, what book have you read that you know for a fact none of your subscribers or friends have read? Emily the Strange, The Lost Days. I vaguely remember reading this, which is really quite ironic because this book is about Emily the Strange, who has lost her memory essentially and cannot remember what's happened to her. And this is written basically like a diary as she tries to remember what's happened to her. And you've got like doodles in red and stuff like this the whole way through, and it's like a diary. Trying to find more pictures. So you've got like pictures like this and stuff like this, and it's focusing on Emily after she's lost her memory and she's trying to regain what happened to her essentially. And I vaguely remember reading this. I don't remember where I got it. I have yet to see it anywhere in any shop since, and Emily the Strange I've just not seen anywhere because she was a big brand when I was in the height of my emo phase, when I was about 12-13, and I just haven't seen anything about her since really. I don't know if the brand's gone under or if it's just moved on from England, I don't know, but yeah, I am pretty sure no one has read this. Question number 2 is, what book were you obsessed with and were surprised when you discovered no one knows about it? The Fire and Ice series by Jackie Andrews. There's only 2 in the series. I don't know what happened. She hasn't made any other books or anything, so I don't know, but this one was about a private detective teaming up with this guy as well, and they've got to try and protect a princess, and it's set in this fantasy world, hence why they've got fire and ice powers, hence the name Fire and Ice. And I loved this series, I really did. I literally carried like a version of this book around in my school bag when I was about 11 for like a year, maybe 18 months. I had it in my bag for far too long, quite frankly, and it got battered, hence why there's a new perfect copy. But I have never seen anyone talk about this, and I was obsessed with this book when I was younger. I have no idea how it completely bypassed everybody else, quite frankly, because it was so good. Question number 3 is, what book from a genre you don't usually read do you hold in the same regard as your favourite genre of choosing book? I'm going to say The Collected Tales of Nurse Matilda. This is obviously the movie cover with the Nanny McPhee lot. They changed the name, I don't know why, but it was a genius film actually by Emma Thompson. I absolutely loved it as a kid, still love it now, and this is the original book with the original Nurse Matilda stories in it that inspired the film Nanny McPhee. And each one is about the same family, as the kids sort of start off quite naughty and all the rest of it, and then slowly Nurse Matilda helps them to become good and kind and all the rest of it, and then they sort of relapse and go back to being naughty again, so Nurse Matilda has to come back in again. And in each book as well, I just remember counting all of the kids, because in each book it was, oh yeah, we've got more kids, kind of thing. So I just remember counting them all and like writing down all of the names, because in each book there's like a scene where it lists down every single child and what they are doing that is naughty, essentially. And I love that, quite frankly. And I just remember reading that and counting all of the names and having this great memory of doing that. But I just remember really liking these books. I really liked as well that there's like illustrations throughout it, and then in my copy, because it was the Nanny McPhee copy, also had pictures from the movie in it, which I also found very fun as well. And I just remember really loving this. I don't usually like what's considered classics, because this counts as a classic in my mind because it was written in 1967 and it's quite a famous set of books, quite frankly. But I did really enjoy it, essentially, so that's what I'm counting for, because I usually hate classics with a passion. And then question number 4 is, what is a non-popular book did you recommend to a friend who later ended up loving it? My best friend is very busy at the moment and hasn't had that much time to read books, but I did recently give her a spare copy I had of Aru Shah and the End of Time, and I'm really hoping she's going to enjoy that one. I've also told her to read the Wayward Children series. I've bought her the first one in that as well, and she hasn't read it yet. I have told her to read many comics over the years as well, and she still hasn't read those yet. It's essentially like, she's too busy to read, I have far too much time to read, so I just end up shouting book recommendations at her and hoping for the best, essentially. So that is essentially what's happening right now, and I'm just hoping she really enjoys this. And unfortunately I don't have an answer for this because she is so busy, but then again, I'm saying that I have too much time to read. She told me to read, where's it gone? She told me to read The Wrath of the Dawn, which is all the way over there, and I bought that book like 2 years ago and I still haven't read it yet. So I'm just as bad as her, to be honest. And then the final question is, what is the most obscure fantasy book you could think of? I'm going to say A Blade So Black, because I see no one talking about this. This is an Own Voices black representation version retelling of Alice in Wonderland, where she's essentially Buffy the Vampire Slayer, in the sense that she's a major nerd, which I love. I live for the pop culture references in these books, but it's also, she hunts down nightmares, which are creatures who come from Wonderland, and so you get this idea of like Wonderland, she's Alice, there's also Hatter, Chester, a whole load of other people, loads and loads of references throughout to Lewis Carroll. Her cats are called Lewis and Carroll, actually, and it's just brilliant, quite frankly, and no one talks about it, and it sucks because this set of books is so good, and the final book is coming out next year, and I just want more people to talk about it. Also along those lines, I'm also going to quickly mention Not Even Bones, which is another like contemporary fantasy, and no one talks about that. It's very, very dark, quite triggering. I would look up trigger warnings if you do want to read that one, but it's so good and no one talks about it, and you all really should read it. I'm also going to say, I know I was only supposed to give one, but I'm giving a couple here. I think I had another one and it's gone out of my head. See, most things I actually read are from like recommendations from everybody, so I'm just going to go with those ones, I think, actually. So yeah, those ones. And that is going to be the end of this book tag. I have filmed this 3 times now, so no matter what state this is in, it's going up, quite frankly, so just ignore any mistakes or anything in that, because I've had enough of trying to film this video, quite frankly. So with that, I am going to leave it here. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up, comment down below, tell me what you thought of any of these books, or give me some of your answers to this. I'd love to know. Or if you don't have that much time, leave me a book stack emoji to let me know that you were here. I'll also leave a link down below to all my social media if you want to check it out, including to the Comic Book Sanctum, which is my website dedicated to Marvel Comics, which is going to have a whole load of stuff to do with Halloween and all the rest of it in the coming weeks. So do check that out if you are interested. And if you want to see any more of my videos, please click subscribe here, and over here will be the link to my previous video. But until next time, everyone, bye!